I was really excited about going to the Navy. I went in 93 after I graduated, and I went to church on Rookie Sunday, the second Sunday in the military. And when I went in there, I gave my life to Christ. I felt like my life was going well. I was going to be an E2, and I was really excited about where things were going. And I remember them saying during service on Sunday that you could talk to a chaplain, and they sent me across from a Catholic chaplain, and I told him what happened about being saved. And I was really excited. I was crying. Not that I was falling apart, but I was excited. And, next thing you know, he had another guy come in to escort me, and I thought I was going back to my company. And we started walking, and I said, "Hey, man, my guys are over here." He goes, "We're going to go over here real quick." And I said, "Where are we going?" He said, "Just come on." And we walked in this other room, and there was guys sitting around. Guys were on crutches. Guys were hurt. Next thing you know, two paramedics come in the room, and they're like, "Go with them." And we're walking down the hallway, and they're being all nice to me, and I just knew something wasn't right. We walked out these double doors. There's an ambulance sitting there. I never knew much about psych wards, and I didn't know they had just brought me into one. And I walked down the hallway, had a seat, and a nurse comes up, starts taking my vital signs again, like I just had this done. And I looked at the door, and the two paramedics had been escorted to the door by another nurse. And I said, "I need to go with them." And I started to get up. She put her hand on my shoulder. She goes, "No, you're going to be staying here." And I said, "You need to tell me what's going on." She goes, "You're having difficulties." I said, "You know what? We're having difficulties. I talked to a chaplain this morning at 8:30 here. It is 4 o'clock. I done missed the whole day in boot camp. If I don't get back, I'm going to lose my E2 ranking." She come back with a cup full of pills. She goes, "Here, I need to take these pills." And she said his doctor's orders. I hadn't even seen a doctor. And the next thing you know, she got on the phone and 4 guys showed up. They said, "Mister, you need to take your medication." And I said, "Man, I ain't taking the medication. You take the medication." I went around with these guys for like 45 minutes. And I realized they wouldn't let me call home unless I took the medication.
I got a phone call from the military base. They said he was in the hospital.
The next day they got me up early and said it was time to, meet with the doctor. And so I meet with this doctor, and he goes, "So what happened on Sunday?" I said, "I got saved." And he goes, "So what do you believe in?" I said, "I believe it's been this earth by God to help others." So he looked at me like I was funny. And I was like, "Can I go back to my guys?" And he goes, "No, you can't. You're going to be going home." And so we got done, and I'm walking. I'm thinking I'm going home in about 2 or 3 days. And I'm taking medication. After about 4 or 5 days, I catch myself sitting there. My vision was getting blurry. I couldn't read a newspaper. I catch myself sitting there slobbering and just shake out of it like I was just phasing out, and it was getting scary.
He was crying and saying, "Will you please get me out of here?" I'd called the doctor and left messages, so many times, and he wouldn't call me back. Every time I talked to Brad, he would talk more and more like he didn't understand what he was telling me or understand anything. It didn't make sense what he was saying.
And she was naturally very upset because she had been getting calls from him about, "Mom, if you don't get me out of here, I don't know what's going to happen to me."
I got to telling my family, I said, "We need to go up there because something's wrong, and I can't get a phone call from the doctor, and they won't tell me anything."
And she called up there to tell them that we were coming up there, and they told her, said, "It won't do you any good to come up here because you can't get in to see him. We won't let you in." And we went on in the hospital, asked to see Brad. "Well, you can't see Brad. We can't let you see Brad. Donna says, "That's my son. I want to see him." They said, He's not your son. He belongs to the military. He belongs to us." So we finally got in to see him. And then, of course, seeing the condition he was in, we knew that we had to get him out.
He was just kind of walking around in a zombie-like state, His eyes were really dilated, and he didn't even know who I was. So I immediately, started regrouping my thoughts about how I'm going to get him out of there, because he was so over-medicated that I knew down deep inside of me that if I didn't get him out of there, that he was not going to be alive.
Brad's granddad and myself was sitting in the lobby waiting, and we were sitting there, and there's this lady comes up. We see her get off the elevator, and here she comes right straight to us. And she said, "Are y'all Brad's family?" We said, "Yes, we are." And she said, "I have worked here for 15 years. Y'all are the first family that has ever came to see what was going on." She said, "They do it all of the time, and we hope that you do something about it." A pharmacist in Garland had told Donna, she was doing the checking on all the medications that he was taking, he told Donna, says, Donna, you better get him out of there as soon as you can. Said the combination of stuff that he's on will kill him.
And 52 days later, we finally got him out. And when he came home, he couldn't say his name. He couldn't write his name. He didn't know where he was. He didn't have any idea what was going on.
I had a JAG attorney come in, and he says, is there anything I don't like? And I said, well, I don't take no medication. He said, well, it's your patient rights. You don't have to. And that evening, the nurse walks up and said, here, Mr. Young, you take your medication. I said, my JAG attorney said I don't have to. And I pulled out my patient rights. And she said, it's doctor's orders. I said, this piece of paper don't mean anything. And 4 guys showed up. They said, you done rebutted enough. So I had 4 guys get around me, and they tackled me and put me in full-point leather restraints and gave me a shot in the hip, and I was out like that. And next thing you know, I don't remember anything, but I was strapped down Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I think, is when I woke up. I remember them telling me to get up and get my belongings. I was flying home. I don't remember the flight back home. I remember being at Richardson Medical Center, but I still thought that I was part of the military. And I remember standing up just shaking, like I was really out of it. I remember them having me locked down at night with a camera on me. I remember one evening at being at Richardson Medical Center when they opened the door and I thought I could get away. And I ran out and I ran up to the road and Beltline, and I was so scared to cross the road that I would come back in because I was so scared.
I thought to myself, how can our U.S. Navy take a young man that spent months to prepare himself for the military? How can they take one of our young men and in 2 weeks' time tear down what he had done and prepared himself for, for months? I was astounded.